be a space where you can start up, like you want to like build, you want to build, even if you want to build something small or something big, getting the land is not going to be as expensive as getting one here in the UK. Paying government taxes would be expensive.
I'm autistic. I don't pay government tax. I don't pay a penny. For me, I'm under Insolvency Act 1986. I don't pay a penny to the government because I'm neurodivergent. Because because everything is paid for me. That's the idea. But the problem I'm having is the actual allotment. How am I gonna get money if I don't work? See what I'm saying? So, you see, the whole thing I'm doing about it is I filed lawsuit. I filed a lawsuit against institutions for a lot of things in the past. I was homeless. Why was I homeless? For goodness sake, I'm disabled and they made me homeless. What are they doing? They meant to protect me. Look, don't worry about that. You see, people. Let me start. People who are neurodivergent in here are born sick. They're labeled as sick. They're born disabled. You know. I mean, but we Nigerians are not disabled, so I had to fight that in court. So for my human rights. So for me, I had to fight that in court. So because they're gonna say I'm sick, and sometimes they can stop me from leaving the country. Yeah, because it's a UK system. So that one I have to fight it very well in court. So so for me, I'm classified as a disabled man, because I'm neurodivergent. I still have uphold my rights, but I've uphold all my rights. So I'm saying, yeah. So because of my rights are there. So what I'm doing is building my utopia, the way I want to live. But I'll come back to Navy. Let me show you what I'm doing. I will come back to Navy because Navy is my hometown. Is where I was born. I was born in Agota. I have to come back because I've completed everything, my education. I can show you my work I did. I've completed everything. Everything. Let me add you. Only come to UK for education. If you forget that, they can treat me anyhow because, for me, I was not allowed to return for so long. I want to come back to Navy and, build everything. I want to do everything I want there. But I don't have money. My mom doesn't want to pay for my flight tickets. She says she'll pay for holiday, but she won't pay for, let me show you what I mean. So I built AI. Oh wait, this AI I built. This is one of my projects. Yeah. So yeah. So start session. Yeah. So you hear what I said? It takes time to respond. So I built it. But let me start listening. How are you? What is 2 plus 2? Oh, what is 2 plus 2? Let me just type in. It's not registering. What is 2? you know. So I put in a question there. It's gonna take so long to respond. You might just let it take a break. But this AI system, I built AI. You see, you can hear it.
Yeah, I can hear it.
No, okay. You see, this is called my AI system is called ontological Bayesian intelligence.
Yeah.
Ontological Bayesian intelligence. That's the model. So that's what's called. So this AI is called you. Oh, it's not gonna respond. Let me stop it from listening. So the idea of my AI is called ontology, basically philosophical ontologies, which is relationships to me, myself, and I, like nature of being. The foundation of knowledge is rooted in ontology. I like to think about it. Like philosophical ontology, study of ontology in philosophy, because philosophy is split into ontology, epistemology. What's the other one? That's only two I know. Ontology and well, basically, ontologies are about the local, about the self. I'm saying it's about identity. So,
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
she responded, "Stand, yeah, yeah." You see, it's gonna be well, I built it. Now I have to come back home. See, that's what I come here for. I come here to learn something.
So,
You see, I'm bankrupt right now, so by October, you see, I'm bankrupt. So by October, because I don't want to take my debt into Nigeria, and then my money will still be in the account. I'm saying, so my money is because I'm bankrupt. So people that are bankrupt, it will cost me. It will cost me, and I don't want it to cost me. But I can leave right now. As of right now, I can leave the country. I can leave the country and forget about it because they solved the issue. Basically the government got what they wanted. So if my example, if I leave the country, my bank account will still be here. But if anything happened, they can take all my money and go. So I want to make sure I'm doing this right, following process. So I've never been bankrupt before, but I filed for bankruptcy. So October the 17th is when my bankruptcy declaration ends, like 27th. October the 17th, to the best of my knowledge, and then I will come to Nigeria because Nigeria is like my home. See, you see, it's not that I basically I have problem. See, I have to see Nigeria to this day because I've never seen Nigeria ever since I came to when I was 9 years old. When I was 9 years old, I entered this country. You see, 9 years old, I entered this country. I did not have peace of mind ever since I was 9 years old. But I still remember Nigeria. I still remember being in a compound. I still remember how to, people are developing the land. You see, for me, as a Nigerian, I will say this. We need to, like, innovate, I'm saying people aren't innovating. I'm not saying because, Nigerian corruption is too much. I'm saying that we need to, like, have a governance, some kind of we need to have that governance that we to structure so people can actually get the service they need. And because Nigeria is a democratic country, people need to understand that they have power. Democracy. Nigeria is democracy. People have power. You have power in Nigeria. You may not know it. You have power. You have to find out how to use the power. That's the problem with Nigeria. I always say this: people don't know their rights. Don't know. They need to understand everything I can give them. The little, like it's like give them the opportunity. The opportunity is all there. Yeah, yes, you see, it's there. It's people don't know how to use it. So I'm saying we don't get taught rights in school, and I learned that too. We don't get taught rights like your human rights. We don't, and to the degree of using your human rights in effect.
it's the issue. The issue that want to learn what rights we have.
Yes, that's true.
It's just like
That's true as well. That's true as well. Because it sounds boring. It sounds like lawyer. You need a lawyer. You need all of these professionals. It, it's not like that. I want for me. I believe Nigeria. I want to believe that Nigeria could work. I believe Nigeria could work. You know, it can work. I want to believe that. I believe it because I'm an Igbo man. I think about Biafra. I think about you know. But the problem I'm having is that for me, I don't even want the bloodshed. I just want to just function. Like people. It's not even that power. The law already sets. People used to use legislation of documents to guide their. For me, let me give you an example. When I was detained. I don't think about that one actually. They need to know the how to the law because law is bilateral. You know what I'm saying law is bilateral. Works for you and against you. Can work for you and against you. So I'm saying it can work for you or against you. So, but because there's people with power, but the code of democracy is like it, because it empowers you to use to dictate your lifestyle, how you want to live, and that's why I really like democracy. In one of democracy, um, yeah. So it's not like we do elect people. Most people have to hand that power. That's why there's rotation in the Republican aspect of Nigeria. Because I'm saying they never do. They never do.
These generations are never for the masses. But one thing I've noticed is the current government in Abia State, the current government in Abia State is really doing something great for
You
that
see, why that's working is because the local government is local. It used to be, it will stop working. Literally, it's local. It's like people are waking up. People are really waking up. So when I say that the government are sent decentralized, they need to, basically one local authority. We have the same model in the UK. We have the same like government offices in the local areas. And I have learned something. It's working because people actually care, want to invest. People actually know their rights. The premise it's not decentralized, it's not just the start. It will get better. But if it was all the way in Navy or Abuja, Navy or like what am I saying? Anambra, wait, what am I saying? Abuja, yes, Abuja, it will not work because the local people, where are the local people? The local people from Abia State are not in Abuja, are they? No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what's not working. That's what we need to be decentralized. We need to be decentralized. The problem with centralized authorities is that they can be corrupt and they can be taken down as quickly as they are as quickly as they're set up. I'm saying in the worst case scenario, like in the worst case, like imagine someone wants to launch a coup and take over one state. Let's say let me use the state in there because if someone wants to launch a coup, it's just one network. You just take a one target, and that target offering the service will if they can succeed will collapse. So for me, the way I see governance is that we decentralized and distributed. That just means there has to be not one point of failure uh, or success. Insane. Because the idea is you have governance that the people can always get to a service, cause always give some something. That's what I'm saying. This but people don't understand, it works. When you request something from the local authority and you have statutory rights, you get it. But if that place come under attack or someone bad wants to exploit the service, they can exploit the service. You know what I'm saying? Because when they start acting malicious, when there's bad actors, people that don't want to engage in good faith, with good intent. then you have that problem. You see, we need a decentralized distributed model of governance. And my friend, because I live in the UK, I know how the same thing you're talking about. Abia State, we have one local authority, and that one can crumble. Because when you start to use the service, you start to leave the community. You know, they start to leave, and that is what I'm saying. It's not a good thing to see like that. Now I'm glad Abia is doing well. Abia State is doing well, but we should be eyeing like something that's fault tolerant. Can recover, services can recover. Because if I go on Newi City, Newi has a website. Do you know Newi has a local? Maybe you already knew. Newi has a local authority website, and that website has been there since 2010. Newi is a city now. I don't compare to Japan. Because Japan, say Japan of Africa. That's kind of insulting. First of all, because that's my hometown. But if the people call it that from abroad, then let that be that. Let it be their view. But the idea of, for me personally, I want the government to build by people who have brains like computer science, like me, that study computer science. You know what I'm saying? Mm,
State industry motors, the industry motors, it comes up in the most of the cars, the Nigerian made cars comes up in the
you see,
so
I'm glad but I want it to be built by us, the Gen Z. The thing about governance is when someone is lacking the, like, say, internet access. How the so you connect TikTok to the internet. So can TikTok have access to the internet and connect? People don't. The senators that are in power, basically, you have the member of parliament, and then the member of parliament gets selected to be a senator and get voted to be a senator. And the senators, when they don't have sense, they question you in court. Like, senator, I don't know what, you see, that kind of thing. You understand the structure, of basically comes from, it's called Republican structure, because they have power to do something too. So you have the senators, and they go into the senators are so you get a member of parliament or a member of the local authority, and those people are powerful to make you in local authority. They can write any kind of email and make you homeless, like they did to me. But when they become the Senate, they go into the Republican phase, and they can oversee you can make like decisions such as like the take one store on TikTok and the debate between uh and the creator of TikTok, and that's what senators do. So the the idea, what I'm saying is they can pass bills. You can pass bills. You can propose bills, and they can be passed to law, and Tinubu can sign it. So that's what I'm saying, giving you an idea. So the thing I'm seeing is that they have some of them, when they get old, you don't want to hand them the power because they have the power, but they have the power. The second thing I've seen is that when they are when they don't have the knowledge, they can make any wrong decision. So what I propose is someone that's in specialist in that domain to at least give them the information, explain to them how it works. You can't just or replace them, or like someone that knows that domain. So I'm studying computer science. You can let me if my life is computer science, if I'm studying computer science and I'm building computers, then promote me to be basically make me the Ministry of Computer Science. That would be a no-brainer. Or technology, national technology. National technology. Insane. Go ahead.
one actually see one issue we have those
Go ahead.
one is this different governments, which is the APC governments. They implement a lot of things. We don't know this once they're not gonna do it. They're gonna do it, everything. So they are they are all they just want to like keep in the morning, keep pouring the money, keep like laundering all the how they're not doing anything. Everything they promised, they are not doing it. Okay, now secondly, when you said if you study something and you're good at it, they ought to like that also bring you in there to also showcase it to share the knowledge and everything. If now the people that are putting into those posts, like first, for example, you study computer engineering, computer science,
Yeah, software
for you
engineering.
to be the head of computer science, let's say for someone that heads the ministry computer science, they won't put in that person. That's what they're trying to do. They will not put in that person. They will bring in somebody of their own that has no idea of computer science at all. So be a minister of computer science. So not be heading people. So those ones will not employ other people that have ideas.
I know what you're saying. Let me give you an example. I know what you're saying. You see, the problem with doing that is they want to keep their people in power. They want to keep the people that can give their children the power, and it becomes generational, and it can lead to like offenses, like people that want to do that, that let's not do with that. But the problem is they have to implement it. I'm saying, when you're in government, you know, the main point of being when you're in the government offices, when you are a senator, when you are in the Ministry of Technology or Community Science, you have to be actively governing. You know, I'm saying. So even if they're not governing, or one set of people are not benefiting, only one group of people are benefiting, that shows they're doing something at least. I'm saying. Because that shows that no, because this matter if it affects me and you. You know, if someone's benefiting from it, that means system's working to some degree. But they have to keep planning it, unless legally the system will crumble again, will be against them because they're not actually making any progress. Nobody. So what will happen? What will happen now is that they will.
Just them and their family. Because they're the only one like they just want to like pack all the whole money.
Yeah. You see, yeah, I know. You see, that's what I'm saying. It's not a good thing. You see, it's never a good thing. This thing they do. I feel honestly, if I was there, you know, you can always, because they have to actually be having something they're doing, because it's governance. It's dynamic. It's not dynamic. It's like the governance. Say for me, so something. My job is to give houses. If I want to give houses, I have to keep giving houses to a certain demographic. To still like this person has a right to a house. Let me administer independent property. Let me give someone a house. I have to actively doing that to show the system is working. You know, but I don't have to give you a house. I have to give only my people a house, and that's the problem. That's one of the problems. The only problem is if I stop giving people a house, that means that I'm not doing my job properly. That means I need to give another person a time, and that's written in law. So that's law. That's to give someone on top because I've not been the benchmark to do my job efficiently. I'm saying. So you know they have to have brains. You know to keep the system corrupt. They cannot keep it there forever. And people will move on, but it takes time. It takes a lot of time. And because it takes generations of the generations or so to see. So I'm saying, because governance is dynamic, it's very dynamic, it's just going to work. It's not like you going to work in a hotel and uh, you have to actually producing results. Like that's what governance is. There. That's what will go to government because you have to have a something that you are active. It's an operation. It's not a project. It's an operation because it's active. It's ongoing. Without doesn't matter the time. You have to produce some kind of output. To show that you're not you're actually making progress. Well, these people don't have any sense. So ultimately, it's a backfire. It's a backfiring plan. See what I'm saying? You know, now you know. So you can plan ahead. You can plan to be uh elected as the Ministry of technology. Like, I want to be someone in Nigeria. I wanna come back and work and become governor. I want to come back. You see, you see, I want the governors to work. I want to help other states too. For me personally, I want to help. I want to go to govern. Name is really good at governance. I want to govern like or wherever or Enugu or where there's But see, only where Igbos, only where the majority people of Igbos. If I want to help Igbo people, go where Igbo people are. I want to govern where the majority of Igbo people are, so I can bring my vision to light. Like that's why governance is important. It's ambition. It's like I want to. So see the computer work I'm doing now. These are my AI systems I'm building. I have to give that back into the economy in projects. That's what government about. That's what government is. I have to give that. The moment I stop doing that, I become a bad. See what I'm saying? Or I haven't meet my. That's what I'm saying. It's like that's what because they pay you a lot of money to solve their problems. 700 million pounds. This girl took in Nigerian currency. 700 billion pounds, 1 million. You see, you can't just come to office and sit down and hear the seat and get money. You know, it will backfire. Because people will find a way to defeat you, whether it's by gun, a coup, or because they can't be while you were there enjoying your life. They can't be struggling, because struggle is hard. It's insane. That's what I have to give you. You see, I've been doing this for so long. Yes.
Just, just prevents everything.
Yes, for me, I want to go now, but I don't have money. That's the problem.
Something.
Yes, I know. It always does. Especially when I'm not looking for it. Maybe we should stop looking for it.
If just just complete. Just complete.
Okay.
Something.
Okay.
Something to stop thinking about you. Just if you no matter even if you say you're not religious, but you believe there is God, so you just
I used to believe there was God. Now I don't believe there was God. The topic of God, the argument of God is, because I study computer science and opened my eyes to the real world. So because because when you only have one option, you start to see, you only see the option, but when you have when you explore and you open your eyes and you open your wisdom, you start to understand more when you're exposed to so much more. I'm saying that's why anyway. Okay.
something I put out way. I bring out. That's why I saw miracles. Things changed. So he has done it before, and I'm sure he can do it again.
Oh,
So
great, great.
I believe. So I also hope just I also hope and I trust you also. But there is no one that will call on God that he won't come true for the person. As long as you have that faith and you believe, surely come true.
I've tried. That's what I'm saying. No, sorry about that, mate. Okay. I'm gonna have to put this in because governance. Let me speak about governance. Governance is still young. We can still influence it. We can, as generation, is still young. It's not everything that's rigid. I have one governance model. You want to hear it? Yeah. So, Oha, Iwu, Iji. Iji is unilateral. Iwu is bilateral, Oha is trilateral. Very important to understand that. E.g., I for indigo, J for jam, I for indigo stands for order. Iwu uh, means low, translates to low in Igbo. And Oha is community or public community. So the idea is this: services, for example, e.g., one of us is here. Okay? Iwu, bilateral, both of us are here. Oha, we are all here, or three of us are here. There you go. That's my governance model. The governance model is very important to understand that it's architectural. It's not just built by religious articles. It's architecture, and so you cannot exclude someone from a demographic. So the goal is not basically it's architectural. It doesn't enforce exclusion. Can't exclude you. Can never exclude you because it's built on the philosophy of community law. Like let's say Oha, let me call it Oha Insigi Act. Because this was gonna Oha Insigi Act. The act recognizes people's human rights. So the community, and so you can challenge it in three ways: me, myself, and I. So you have three poles, like three poles. So you see, governance is like that. So if you have law, the law can if you're being charged something in the rules, like Iwu, like if you're being charged with a crime, that's Iwu, is bilateral. But how you have community services, so you have give and take kind of a model. I'm saying, yeah. So the idea of it was to protect all of us and Igbos, because it's based on how it's designed, not the philosophy of by how it's designed, So you have the community act, the community law. You can have for example, you can have community law like Iwu or Ha, because the law is bound by the community, so it works in certain demographics. See those kind of things are just we join Iwu on a Ha. See the intelligence I have. See what I'm saying? So you can have Oha G community order, because when it's order, there's chaos. So the idea is when the articles are written, it's cross-referential. It works because it's architectural. It's not just rigid. It can't exclude anything. It can't. That's the idea. I mean, I want to enforce it. So such as you got the articles too. So the articles are wait, what are they called? The sections. Well, you got the kind of the articles which I haven't made up here, which I haven't defined yet. But those are going to pass with bills to the parliament to recognize it. That's what I'm saying. And when they're done, you have such sections so you can enforce their rights, invoke it by using computer systems. So this is saying I want food and water now, and that's bound by Iwu or her. I request it, local authority provides it. You get it? Because I can run it on my computer, I'm hungry, I'm starving, but the system responds. That's what I'm good in. No, because there's someone out there that has to pick the request. Maybe it's a robot, maybe it's a drone, maybe it's a human in loop, human out loop, and human on the loop. So that's the idea. So you see, you can have governance that works for everyone. I know my model works. It just has to be written as relation to the articles. Uh, uh, which will wait, what is the articles? Legislative acts, which are the documents called acts, not articles, which are subsections of the act, which contain the sections, which contain smaller subsections within these sections. So, you can go to the Nigerian website, you can go to the Nigerian website and Google all the legislative documents, and you can make a request to your local authority, and Nigeria will do that by law. They will do that thing. You don't believe me? If you know your rights, if you know the right, if you know your rights, you can take a plane. Let's think of a new one. So, China, China and UK system are having a deal. They're allowing Britons like me to fly abroad for free. If I know my right enough, I can request a flight from here to China. That's how it works. That's how it works. But people don't know that. Who teach you that? Didn't you know that in school? No, be honest. Didn't you do it in school? No. Because that's what they are trying to implement now. Now. So if you know your rights, people don't know how to use the system because they want to get business innovation to China and back and forth, so people can, that's what I'm trying to do. In Nigeria, we have the same governance model. We have that. People need to know your rights. You see, if you don't know your rights, the way they can treat you anyhow, they can harass you anyhow. It's insane.
Sure.
So that's what I'm saying. That's the problem with the law. You see, governance. They're trying to put AI to governance, like put AI into governance, and AI. It's not from AI will give you the grandeur. This part of a hallucination of you cannot bribe an AI system. Can you bribe an AI system?
No.
No, you cannot. That's why they're using it. So they're removing all the corruption intelligence and replacing those roles with AI. You know, and I can't wait to see how that works. Because there's already AI uh, AI the whole office in is it Saudi Arabia the seat the robot system what's it called Aria I don't remember her name, but she's a robot and she has the power in the local government. They brought in a robot because you can't corrupt, you can't bribe a robot.
It's functional. It's really like
It would be the best decision that ever happened to any one of us in the council office. Even if I wanted to shut down the program, no, you see, robots, they don't have a need for that. They don't have a need for it. You can't bribe it. Can't bribe it, and that's why Nigeria needs it. Even the thing that happened in Zamfara Forest, you know, they're using robots, drones. We need because people the problem is when they enter the bush, our usually don't come back. Because these people are guerrilla fighters. We need to take robots and drones to them. They want them to fight back. That's what's all about. That's why this project. You see what I'm saying? See, this is why all these operations and projects matter. Because when you have remote control versus someone that's not actually in there, that's happening in Ukraine. That was happening in Ukraine. See, because that's governance of the one. So that's what's happening. So you have Xbox controller, and this is a Gen Z using the controller. That's what's about. Because we found games that play with the Xbox and PS4 and PS5. So the idea is you innovate and you build something that's sustainable. So you repel attacks or you repel bad actors, because you have a way to separate You make sure things are working in the best light of your people. I'm saying, I'm saying. So that's what the invasion is about. That's what I don't like. That's why I don't like corruption. I was in the news. I was watching the news, and he said China is advancing 3 times more. Is getting 3 times more advanced than the UK. Come on. That one shocked me when I was watching it. I was 12 years old. That one shocked me 3 times. Because when you're corrupt, don't care. They lock you in jail. You go to prison, you never see daylight again. You see? No, I'm not joking. If you go to China, I want to go a politician, though, and do the same thing you do. I mean, I'm in bars, and there's no bail. That's just it. The things don't mess around. So we need that. We need that in Nigeria. We need those things, because you know we need that. We need it. How long has she been there? Oh, okay.
Say,
Mm.
I don't like if
You see about kids. Let me give you. Okay, you see the kids should know their rights from how it should work. How it should work. Ideally, how it should work. The kids should know the rights when they're young. So when they request, they can request to go to any school. You don't need any parent involvement. The kids just have freedom to do what they want to do in their life. That's how it should work. When you write, for example, if I write an email to my Nnewi council, like Nnewi website, and I go to the local authority website, Nnewi City Council, let's click Nnewi City Council. I write, and I'm writing GCS, I'm writing GCSE, and I pass GCSE, and I should be able to know my rights to request what school I should go next, because I have so and so, I've made things so and so efforts, and I've gotten the grade I need to go to what it's a school in or transfer to, because that's the idea of governance. People who are independent. That's the idea. They don't teach this in school. So even when you go in life and you are under the same framework, under Nigerian framework, the idea is you governance there uh to 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 attain something that's really that everyone gets. If you're being marginalized, you could get a lawyer. That's the idea. But you don't need a lawyer because this is all rights. I'm saying you code rights. These are rights on paper in black and white. I'm saying that's the idea. I just blow your mind in it. I know, I know. Oh, this is my computer. Let me, because I've been recording this conversation. So I haven't recorded your voice. I'm just recording myself. I'm gonna put it on my YouTube channel.